When you think of a fighter jet, you probably picture a long runway. But what if a jet didn't need one? What if it could launch from a tiny clearing in a forest, or right off the deck of a small ship? Well, that's not science fiction. That's the AV-8B Harrier II, a plane that just completely rewrote the rules of air power.
Okay, so let's really get into this. Here's the thing about any air force. Your conventional jets are totally chained to these long, very vulnerable runways. But the Harrier, it just asked a completely different question. What if you just didn't need a runway at all?
So how in the world did they make a jet hover? I mean, really think about that. The answer is in some truly out-of-the-box engineering that makes the Harrier unlike anything else you'll ever see in the sky.
And that answer has a name, V/STOL. It stands for vertical/short takeoff and landing. Now just imagine this. An enemy bombs your main airbase. Suddenly, most of your planes are grounded. But with V/STOL, a Harrier can lift off from a reinforced parking lot or a small stretch of highway. It stays in the fight. I mean, that is a massive, massive tactical advantage.
And at the heart of all this, the thing that makes it all happen is one incredibly powerful engine, the Rolls-Royce Pegasus. This one turbofan provides all the brute force needed to make the impossible, well, possible.
But the real genius of the design is how simple the core idea is. All of that insane engine power gets channeled through 4 exhaust nozzles that can actually rotate. By vectoring that thrust, pointing it down or back or anywhere in between, the pilot gets this incredible level of control that conventional jets just dream of.
Okay, so here's how it works. To take off, the pilot swivels those nozzles to point straight down. All that thrust blasts the ground and the jet lifts straight up, almost like a helicopter. It's wild. Then, once it's in the air, the pilot gradually rotates the nozzles backward, and it smoothly transitions from just lifting to hurtling forward. In a matter of seconds, it goes from hovering to flying at hundreds of miles per hour.
So, the Harrier can hover, that's cool. But let's not forget, this thing is built for combat. So let's take a look at how that unique ability actually translates to dominating the battlefield. Yeah, don't let that vertical takeoff fool you into thinking this is some slow-moving gimmick. No way! At over 660 miles per hour, the Harrier can get to the front lines fast, drop its payload, and get out. It's the best of both worlds, the flexibility of a helicopter with the raw speed of a jet fighter.
And when it gets there, it brings the heat. The Harrier was designed from the ground up for close air support. We're talking everything from precision missiles and laser-guided bombs to rockets and a cannon, all to give direct, immediate help to the troops on the ground.
And listen, we're not just talking about what it can do on paper. The Harrier has proven itself time and time again in the real world, from the Gulf War to Afghanistan and Iraq. Its ability to operate from these makeshift forward bases made it absolutely priceless for getting air support to troops right when they needed it.
When it comes right down to it, pilots love this plane for a simple reason. Its unique design lets them get down low, maneuver with incredible precision, and operate exactly where they are needed the most, right there on the front lines.
But of course, a revolutionary capability like this, it doesn't come easy, and it definitely doesn't come cheap. There are always trade-offs, and the Harrier is absolutely no exception.
Yeah, this level of innovation costs a pretty penny. Back when they were being produced, a single Harrier jet cost somewhere between $24 and $30 million. And that's before you even get to the high maintenance costs, all thanks to that incredibly complex Pegasus engine.
But here's the thing. Despite that hefty price tag, the general consensus among military experts has always been pretty clear. Having the unique ability to operate without a runway, that's a strategic game changer. And that alone justifies the cost.
So as we start to wrap this up, let's just talk for a minute about the Harrier's lasting legacy. Because it's really so much more than just a machine, it is a true icon of aviation. To put it simply, the Harrier is a flying testament to solving what everyone thought was an impossible problem. It really represents this kind of bold, innovative engineering that just refused to accept the normal limits of aviation. And that right there is its ultimate contribution. The Harrier fundamentally proved that you could project air power from practically anywhere, and that completely changed modern military strategy forever. So now, as military aviation shifts more towards stealth and unmanned drones, the Harrier is still this powerful reminder of just how valuable it is to solve a fundamental problem with a bold, completely unconventional solution. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What can its legacy teach the next generation of engineers?